Hello, everybody, and welcome to For You. My name is Reese.
I'm Kathy.
And today we are talking about a combination of things. We're talking about one of Taiwan's most famous foods, and we're talking about vehicles that teach us things. Kathy, I'm excited to read this article.
Me too.
How do you feel about douhua?
I like douhua, actually. How about you?
It's okay. It's a bit tasteless, honestly, but I do like the salty douhua with the spice and the pork. It's a good breakfast. But we're not talking specifically about douhua today. Today's article is called The Sweet Story of Ho's Douhua Car. And Sebastian Morgan, our good friend, wrote this one. But before we get into that, Kathy, I want to ask you something about movie directors. What is a director, first of all?
A director is a person who, for example, a play or a plot, he thinks about how he's going to write the story. He has a story, and he also teaches people how to act.
Right.
So basically, he is responsible for a lot of work and things.
Yeah. Director is actually one of our vocabulary words, and we'll talk a bit more about it later. But do you have a particular favorite movie director?
Li An.
Li An, of course. He directed many famous movies. Life of Pi, I think, was one of his, right?
Yeah.
Really beautiful movies. I love, I think, obviously, Steven Spielberg's a great director. And David Lynch as well. Some of his movies are kind of weird and wacky. But that's all for directors for the moment. Let's actually get into our article today.
Reading.
The Sweet Story of He's Douhua Car. Sometimes, to find inspiration, you just need to look at things from a different angle. That's certainly true for film director He Mingjue. Since 2019, he's been searching for the next generation of Taiwanese filmmakers. However, he's doing so in quite an unusual way. He is the creator of the Douhua Car, a mobile classroom he drives from town to town. At each stop, he offers local kids lessons on filmmaking, as well as bowls of delicious douhua. The most exciting part of his classes, though, is the drones. With He's help, students actually get to pilot these tiny machines through the sky. He was a friend of Chi Bo-lin, the famous director of Beyond Beauty, Taiwan from Above. Sadly, Chi passed away in 2017 while he was working on his next movie. He explains, "I want to share Chi Bo-lin's ideas with school kids around Taiwan." Chi wanted Taiwanese people to discover the importance of nature. Now, thanks to He, Taiwanese kids can also discover their own talents and share their stories with the world.
Okay, so today's article begins by saying, sometimes to find inspiration, you just need to look at things from a different angle. Okay, so already here we have a word to talk about. It's the word inspiration. So inspiration is a noun, and inspiration is that feeling when your brain is stimulated to feel or do something, usually something creative. So if you have inspiration, it's like you have the power inside of you to make something or to do something cool.
今天我们要带大家来看的主题是和一台豆花车有关哦，而且场景是发生在台湾不同的角落。课文一开头就说呢，有时候为了寻找灵感，你只需要从不同的角度看事情就可以找到了。Do you guys often need inspiration in order to write your composition, 你的作文？ Inspiration 这个名词意思就是灵感。It happens when someone or something gives you ideas for doing something. 那如果你是因着什么人事物而拥有这个灵感，你就可以说 be inspired from 什么事情 to have the inspiration to do something 做某事的灵感。Inspiration 也可以指鼓舞人心的人。For example, his wife was a constant inspiration to him.
Oh, that's very nice. So the first line of the article is saying that sometimes if we want to find inspiration, if we want to find a source of ideas or creativity, we need to look at things from a different angle, from different perspectives. Well, the article's going to explain more. It says, that's certainly true for film director Ho Ming-rae. And so we have the word director here, which we talked about before, but let's talk a bit more about it just to make sure we know what it means. So director is a noun, and a director is a person who makes movies, usually. Well, actually, we can use the word director to talk about anybody whose job it is to be in charge of an activity or an organization. So the movie director or the film director is the person who controls and directs everything that happens in the process of making a movie, with direct being the verb. So here's an example sentence. The director didn't like the way the actors played the scene, so he made them do it again.
Director 就是导演. Whether it's the movie you like or even the TV series you look at, all these come from the inspiration of directors. And the director here, he's kind of special. His name is Ho Ming-rae. The article says since 2019, he's been searching for the next generation of Taiwanese filmmakers.
Okay, so this famous director is looking for new people to become directors in the future.
Yes.
That's so cool. Well, it says that he's been searching. Search is a verb, and to search means to look for something. If you're searching for something, you are looking around carefully for that thing. You could search for your lost keys, or you could search for the perfect boyfriend or girlfriend. So here's an example sentence with search. We spent hours searching for Harry's lost dog, but we just couldn't find him.
这边的课文说，从2019年开始他就在找寻台湾下一代的电影制作人。We have a couple of words here. So the first word we're going to see here is searching, which the verb is search. 搜寻或是搜索. It can mean to look somewhere carefully in order to find something. So the target that director He is looking for is the next generation of Taiwanese filmmakers.
Okay, so he's searching for the next generation of filmmakers. What's a generation? What's a filmmaker? All right, let's have a discussion. So generation is a noun, and a generation is a group of people who were born roughly around the same time. There's no strict definition for generation because people are being born all the time. But generally speaking, a generation is a group of people who were born around the same time and they have the same kinds of memories and references. So perhaps they grew up with the same TV shows and they remember the same historical events from their childhood and so on.
Generation 就是代一代。那当然下一代就是 the next generation. It means all the people of about the same age within the society or within a particular family. Let's look at an example sentence. This painting has been in the family for generations.
Okay. Cool. I think my family has a painting of one of our ancestors. I think it's like my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother.
Wow.
And her painting is hanging on the wall of my uncle's house.
Cool.
Yeah, so that has been in our family for generations.
It is.
And then we have this word filmmaker. So filmmaker is exactly what it sounds like. A filmmaker is a person who makes films.
Exactly. Filmmaker 就是电影制作人。这个字很好记哦。Film 是电影，那 make 是制作。Maker 后面有一个 ear， 大家可以记起来，就是指人，合在一起就是电影制作人啦。所以课文之后呢，会提到的电影制作就是 filmmaking. The article then goes on and says, however, he's doing so in quite an unusual way.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. How is he doing it?
OK, 文章接下来就说呢 Director He 的做法和一般导演很不一样哦。It's in quite an unusual way， 意思就是用一种很不寻常的方式。这边字首 un 可以放在形容词、副词或动词前方，构成含否定、相反意思的字词。所以 unusual 的意思就是不寻常的意思。
So another example could be like happy and unhappy.
Yes.
Right, cool. Well, the article continues and tells us more about his project. It says, He is the creator of the Douhua car, a mobile classroom he drives from town to town. Wow. That's really, really cool. We have a word here, mobile, that we're going to talk about. It's an adjective, and mobile means able to move around. It's that easy. That's why sometimes we call cell phones mobile phones, because they're easy to take with you. You could have a mobile classroom. That's a classroom that can move around, probably because it's on wheels. If you're in an accident and you hurt your legs, you might not be very mobile for a while. You need to heal. So here's an example sentence with mobile. Mr. and Mrs. Smith have a mobile home, so they can easily move to other areas of the country.
That's so convenient.
That is.
So next, the article explains this unusual way of finding the new generation of filmmakers. 何导演是豆花车的创始者，而这个豆花车是可移动式的教室哦，他就开着这个车到处去不同的地点。Mobile 或是 mobile 活动的、可移动的。Like Teacher Reese just mentioned, your mobile phone is a kind of phone which you can take it with you wherever you go.
Right, you might hear two different pronunciations of this word. In the UK, in British English, we tend to say mobile, whereas in the US, they might say mobile. Yeah, just different pronunciations. Well, the article continues and it says, at each stop, he offers local kids lessons on filmmaking, as well as bowls of delicious douhua.
Wow.
There we go, our famous Taiwanese snack. But first, let's talk about local. So local is an adjective, and local means relating to a particular area or neighborhood. So if you describe something as local, it means it comes from the area that you are in or the area that you're talking about, wherever that might be. So local can be used to talk about big or small places. It could be a street or an entire country. The article is saying that the filmmaker gives local kids lessons on filmmaking and free douhua. So that means in each area that he stops in, he gives the kids that live there free stuff. So let's have an example sentence.
Okay.
Connor can show you around the local area. He's lived here for many years and knows the best places to go.
这边说呢，何导演在每一站他都会提供当地的孩子们电影制作方面的课程，以及美味的豆花。Local 这个形容词指的是当地的、本地的。For example, he works at the local post office.And we also see a phrase here which is A as well as B. 这个片语的意思是 A 以及 B. For instance, animals as well as plants need water to survive. So the article goes on and says, the most exciting part of his classes, though, is the drones. 这里的 drones 就是无人驾驶机或空拍机。
Oh, it's so exciting. I always get excited when I hear the sound of a drone flying above me. I think they're so cool. I actually have my own mini drone that I fly around sometimes, though it's not particularly powerful. Well, the article continues and it says, with Her's help, students actually get to pilot these tiny machines through the sky.
Wow.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes.
So what does pilot mean? Well, pilot, P-I-L-O-T, can be a verb or a noun, though it's used as a verb in this example. So the noun pilot means a person who controls an aeroplane, and so the verb pilot means to fly an aeroplane. But the article isn't talking about flying airplanes, it's talking about flying drones. So we can also use the verb pilot to talk about controlling a drone or any other thing that might fly in the sky. Super cool. So here's an example sentence. Captain Sam piloted the plane safely onto the runway in London's Heathrow Airport.
所以因着何导演的帮助，学生们是可以驾驶这些小型的机器的。Pilot 这边特别是当动词使用，指驾驶飞行飞机。那大家比较熟悉的 pilot 意思应该是名词的驾驶员、飞行员。所以记得要看文章的前后文，才能确定这个字的正确意思哦。The article then tells us,He was a friend of Qi Bolin, the famous director of Beyond Beauty, Taiwan from Above, 看见台湾。
Oh, okay. Is that a particularly famous movie?
I have to say, I haven't heard about it before.
Okay, but maybe some people have.
Yes.
Yeah, I've not heard of it either. But I guess it sounds like it might be some kind of documentary film where they're shooting from the sky and showing us what Taiwan looks like from a bird's perspective. Could be quite beautiful. Well, the article continues and it says, sadly, Chi passed away in 2017 while he was working on his next movie.
No.
Okay, that is sad. Well, we have a grammar point here to talk about, and the grammar point is adverb with a subject followed by a verb. So this structure always comes at the beginning of a sentence. The example from the article was, sadly, Chi passed away in 2017 while he was working on his next movie. So here the adverb sadly introduces the sentence and qualifies the words that come after. That means it sets a feeling for the rest of the sentence even before the sentence has begun. So here are a few more examples. We could say, obviously, your parents won't be happy to know that you failed most of your final exams. Or we could say, surprisingly, the 4-year-old kid can speak 5 languages.
Whoa.
Wow, that is impressive. Well, there was another phrase in that sentence that might be new to some of us, and it was the phrase passed away. Well, quite simply, to pass away is a nicer way of saying that something or someone has died.
刚刚 Reese 老师已经大致解释过这个文法了。那因此我们知道说，副词在句子里的作用，除了可以修饰动词、形容词和另一个副词之外呢，还可以用来修饰整个句子。那这种修饰整个句子的副词就叫做意见副词，用来表示整个句子的真伪、情况、结果，或是强调说话者对整句的情绪或意见。我们常看到的意见副词，除了刚刚提到的，还有像 fortunately, actually, probably, apparently, happily, naturally 等等。而这句当中，我们还看到了 pass away， 意思就是去世、过世。
Okay, well then the article continues and it says, He explains, I want to share Chi Po-lin's ideas with school kids around Taiwan. Chi wanted Taiwanese people to discover the importance of nature.
That's very nice of him.
It is very nice. I think nature is super important.
Yes. And so in the article, it says, now, thanks to her, Taiwanese kids can also discover their own talents and share their stories with the world.
Okay. Well, I think that's the end of the article, but we do have one more word to explain, and it's the word talent. And talent is a noun, and a talent is a natural ability to do something well. So if you're a good singer, that's a talent. If you can dance, that's a talent too. Everybody has talents, whether it's being very good at video games or even being amazing at playing football. We can use the adjective talented to describe somebody who is very good at something or good at many different things. So here's an example sentence. My sister has a very special talent. She is the best chess player in the whole of Europe.
Wow, that is indeed a very special talent. 这边我们看到的 talent 也是今天最后一个单字，意思就是天赋、才能。For example, we can say, her talent for music showed at an early age. 她小时候就表现出了音乐的天赋。而片语的 thanks to 意思是多亏、幸亏、归功于。课文最后说到呢，现在幸亏有何导演，台湾的孩子们可以发掘他们自己的才能，并且也可以将他们的故事分享给世上的其他人知道。
Well, those are all of our words, and that's the end of the article. So let's go over to our For You chat question.
For You chat.
Okay, so today's For You chat question for you, Kathy, and for you guys at home too. Everyone has a special talent. What's yours? Please share with someone else.
Oh, about talents? I don't know if this one counts, but I know how to swim and have been on the school's swimming team in college. I'm good at freestyle, and when I was in college, I won many awards and contests. To me, it's not only a talent, but it's also a hobby for me till now, which is a good way to relax myself and release the pressure I have from work. So, what about you, Reese? Can you share with us your talent?
Specific talents. I mean, I'm not sure if playing video games really is a talent, but I am very good at video games. Something else I think that I'm good at, and maybe it's something that's more natural to me, is public speaking and acting as well.
It is.
So I love acting, whether it's in theatre or on TV or even just kind of playing around with my friends. And I think I'm a pretty good actor and a good public speaker. I can speak to people and hopefully entertain them and inform them at the same time. So that's the talent that I hope to maybe one day make a career out of. As a
It is a
broadcaster.
talent, yes, it is indeed.
Thank you. Well, you guys can think about this question too. What talents do you have? Some people argue that talents are something that you're born with, but some people might say that you can also learn a talent. So are there any things that you or your friends are particularly good at? You can talk about them with each other. But for now, from For You, my name is Reese.
I'm Kathy.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
The Sweet Story of He's Douhua Car. Sometimes, to find inspiration, you just need to look at things from a different angle. That's certainly true for film director He Mingjue. Since 2019, he's been searching for the next generation of Taiwanese filmmakers. However, he's doing so in quite an unusual way. He is the creator of the Douhua Car, a mobile classroom he drives from town to town. At each stop, he offers local kids lessons on filmmaking, as well as bowls of delicious douhua. The most exciting part of his classes, though, is the drones. With He's help, students actually get to pilot these tiny machines through the sky. He was a friend of Chi Bo-lin, the famous director of Beyond Beauty, Taiwan from Above. Sadly, Chi passed away in 2017 while he was working on his next movie. He explains, "I want to share Chi Bo-lin's ideas with school kids around Taiwan." Chi wanted Taiwanese people to discover the importance of nature. Now, thanks to He, Taiwanese kids can also discover their own talents and share their stories with the world.
Vocabulary Review. Director. The director told the actor to look sadder so that the character would seem more real. Search. The police are searching for the boy who didn't come home last night. He might be lost. Mobile. George owns a mobile coffee shop that he takes to different parts of the city each day. Local. I buy my food from local farms to help support farmers who work near my hometown. Pilot. The experienced captain piloted the plane carefully and made a safe landing at the airport. Talent. Jimmy's parents saw that he had a talent for piano and encouraged him to keep playing.
智慧小补帖
Inspiration. Generation. Filmmaker. Drone.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english www.english4u.net。